So what was growing up in Waikiki like? I remember talking to Johnny
Mm-hmm.
a
Oh
couple years
yeah.
ago, and he would tell me it was just so fun. All the kids know each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're around the same age too. So you
Mm-hmm.
probably grew up
Yeah.
together, right?
For sure. I
Yeah,
grew
yeah,
up with Johnny almost our whole childhood, even now to like
yeah,
this
yeah.
day. But almost every day, I'm like so blessed to be born and raised and growing up in Waikiki. I don't know. There's just like something about it. And like I take in like so much pride of like where I come from just because of like the cultural aspect and
Mhm.
just like the people and the place that raised me. And it's just so hard to describe like the feelings that are felt when you are in that from such a young age. Like my dad and my grandma and my mother like all grew up working on the beach and that was all I knew throughout
Mhm.
my whole entire life. So all the influences that I had from a little kid till now is like embedded in my head and I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without that.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me hearing Waikiki surfers' perspective of Waikiki,
Mhm.
because as just locals here, there's
Mhm.
like this stigma of like, oh, I don't want to go
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Waikiki because it's so touristy.
Yeah.
The parking's bad, all of
Mhm.
that. But then talking to people like you and like your crew, it's like you just have this profound love of Waikiki
Yeah.
and you just see it differently than
Yeah.
most people. But then you're probably also really protective of it too,
Oh,
right?
so
Yeah.
protective, especially when I have conversations with people that are like, Waikiki, like
Mm-hmm.
town, like that's a tourist destination. I'm like, it's our home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, the island of Oahu like is our home, but like Waikiki especially, yes, it's one of the most popular tourist destinations, which can be kind of irritating at sometimes, of
Yeah.
course, but that's just like how we grew up. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
like when you love your home so much, you focus on the things that make it your home and like nothing else will matter. So yeah, it's definitely like a little tricky sometimes, but I'll always be proud to come from
Mm-hmm.
Waikiki no matter what anyone
Yeah.
says.
No,
Yeah.
I love that. I love the pride. I mean, I'm from Hilo. I have such I'm so prideful of where
Mhm.
I'm from,
Yeah.
this small town. It's like it's the best town ever. It's really not the best town ever. But I say it is, just
Yeah.
because I love it so much and
Yeah.
I got that pride. So growing up, I'm guessing you're just in the water since you're a baby, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first memory, like surfing memory?
Oh, it's honestly kind of, there's so many. I was
Mhm.
put on a surfboard when I was only like a couple months old
Yeah.
because like my whole family surfs. I came from a surfing family. But I think I was doing a contest. I was maybe like 4 years old. And it was one of like the more local contests that run in Waikiki. And it was a tandem event with like my dad. And
Hmm.
it was pumping, pumping waves. And I'm like 4 years old, but I went out with my dad and he would like throw me on his shoulders and like
Hmm.
throw me around. So that was one of like the very first memories I have surfing from a
Hmm.
younger age.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so you would be there, I'm gonna guess, like every single day, getting really good. At what point did you realize like, oh, I'm pretty good at this?
I honestly didn't see myself becoming a professional surfer. I think it was more so like my family,
Hmm.
but like in a really supportive, like positive way. Like they never forced me to do anything that I
Hmm.
wasn't comfortable with. But just like my love for surfing grew so strong that I was fortunate enough to make, it professionally. Like it was
Hmm.
just a bonus,
Hmm.
like I'm always gonna love surfing like to its core, like within itself. But I think I was 10 when I went on my first like surf trip to a contest and I was like, this is pretty cool.
Hmm.
Like people get to do this for a living. Like it's pretty sick.
Hmm.
So over the times, it just naturally paved out the way it is now. So,
Hmm. Awesome. And now, I mean, it's your career. Do you plan to do anything else in the next couple years besides surf?
um, I'm always gonna surf.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But like professionally, I'm not a super competitive
Hmm.
person. I mean,
You seem very mellow.
I can
Yeah.
be at times like when I need to be. I mean, I'd love to just surf competitively for as long as I can, but I'm definitely like, it's not like my strong suit and the only thing that I want to pursue
Hmm.
in life.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get more to the future stuff later. What was some core memories just growing up in Waikiki with friends, family? I'm just curious to
Yeah.
hear.
Ugh, I mean, I feel like every time I like say these stories, people like don't believe me because they're like, "How can you do that in a place that's like Waikiki?" I'm like, I don't know. I was just like fortunate enough, but like growing up with my cousin Kaniala, who is also on tour too, and one of my really good friends, like Tiki, like we were
Hmm.
all born and raised on the beach
Yeah,
at the
also some
same.
of the best surfers in the world as
Also,
well, just
they're
coincidentally.
pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was always like us three and our families were also working on the beach at the same time. And it's like we would surf all day with each other. We would hang out at the beach and like play card games while we were waiting to go back out. Like those are the most key memories that I have. It's mainly just surfing because that's all we were doing when
Mhm.
we were little. But like we'd go out on the catamarans and like just have so much fun, doing what kids do, but in one of the most beautiful places in the
Mm.
world, I feel like. So I'm always like, every time I think about it, I'm like, we had such a good upbringing. Like,
Mhm.
you can't top that, but
Yeah, growing up on the beach, surfing all
it's
day.
crazy.
How do
Eating
you
cheeseburgers and fries, like you name it, like shave ice, we were
Yeah.
doing it. I
And you
was
could
like,
do
oh
that
my.
because you're just working off the calories right
Yeah, oh
after.
yeah, you're just like surfing so much, you're
Yeah.
burning it off. But
Exactly.
yeah, it was really fun.